What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Iron Apex. We are live
Right
in the
time,
flesh,
baby.
drinking Mai Tais or whatever he's drinking over there.
That's cold brew, man. I got this new Ninja Cafe Lux
Oh,
thing.
snap.
Like,
I forgot I got
for a couple
headphones.
months. You hear me? You're
Yeah.
good. I'm good. Studio ready, baby.
We're always ready.
I was born ready, brother. You know what I mean? I have this this coffee machine out of this fucking world. Actually, we should get a brand deal for this because it is such a good coffee machine. I feel like I'm going to sell it to everybody.
We'll plug it.
It's the Ninja Cafe Lux,
Oh,
dude. Holy shit. It's unbelievable. I just figured out the cold brew. It literally makes freezing cold coffee from like an espresso press. And I'm like, what? My mind is blown, dude. Usually I like steep it forever and it's in the fridge. And I got this whole thing because I used to drink a lot. So I used to bottle beer, right? I used to make my own beer. And then I stopped drinking so much. And I was like, I'm going to start brewing coffee. And it's like this whole process, steeping and all this and all that. Now I just get like my favorite beans, put it in there. Brother, it's unreal. I'm just, whatever. Side note.
I know, I get it. I'm a Ninja.
Us,
Ninja, yeah, sponsor us, Ninja, because I use your product to make my individual shake every morning, and it's the best blender I've ever had in my life.
Oh, it's gnarly with all the things on it. It's pretty scary if you like put your hand in there, dude. It's done.
Yeah, no,
right?
they have an individual serving. I can use the big thing if I wanted, but it has a perfect my own shake.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
love it.
Anyways, let's Ninja sponsor us. Fuck, we're looking for sponsors, so if you want to sponsor us, we grow. You're getting in at the right time. Yeah, bro, I'm fired up. We're cooking over here. I don't know how you're doing over there, but man, got everything rolling. Everything's rolling real quick.
Yes.
If you're not leveraging AI, man, I don't know what to tell you. People like Philippe and I are destroying you on every level. What did I get yesterday? I got 30 webinar registrants for just yesterday's webinar, and I paid $2.48 a piece.
Did you get your CPL down? Because I know it was like 511. Have you gotten it down even further now?
Well, yesterday it was 258.
Whoa, dude, that's like a 50%. That's a 50% drop from what your CPL was just a week ago.
Yeah, no, I don't know what it is overall because I try to pay attention one a day. But yeah, I'm under $5 now. Looking at the last 30 days.
CPL guys, cost per lead. It's important to know your marketing acronym. CPA, cost per acquisition, which in our world is cost per enrollment. Right?
Yeah, baby.
Acquisition, right? LTV, lifetime value. Guys like me and Josh, our LTVs are through the roof because we have nurture systems and we have follow-up systems where we take out the human element. We use AI, we use CRMs, we use workflows, and those are tried and true. That's
bro. Today I banged out 3,500 APV of life. We cooked up a $300,000 annuity. I have 24 attendees for my seminar tonight. I have 32 lined up for Thursday night. We're talking about like the pipeline of pipelines that I have driving.
I love it.
I've closed 5 out of the last 6 inbound live calls I've taken for life insurance. We're crushing annuities. We're covering life insurance. And you know what the best part is? We're doing without a dumbass upline trying to gatekeep all the bullshit and charge extra for it. And I'm so excited that we're going to be bringing this to the masses, that you don't have to have some secret code or be in some secret club or group to get access to this stuff. We're going to be bringing this in the Iron Apex. Like, we're going to be packaging this stuff up, putting it in a bow on it, and launching it to the average agent, above average agent, because the average agent is really just an above average agent who hasn't been given the recipe, the instructions, the support, the blueprint, if you will, to follow. Usually people just give you the recipe and tell you to figure out how to cook it, versus us. We're going to teach you how to cook it. We're going to teach you how to serve it. We're going to teach you how to do all that stuff. So I'm fired up, man. I can't wait. Next week, I'm going to be in Tampa. So I'll be live in studio with Philippe. When we do this podcast next week. We got the long form version next Thursday. So we have a 90-minute podcast. I'm working on, and Philippe, I'm sure, is working on too. We're working on having high quality, high impact guests for these longer form versions, so that it's not just Philippe and I every single time. And yeah, man. But let's dig in. We got 25 minutes left. We spent 5 minutes talking smack about how awesome we're doing. Let's dig in and give us the people what they want.
I love it, man. Like, I love it.
What is it, do you think, that you've learned the most in the last 7 days since we were on here last?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's something I learned more. It's just something I'm leaning into more, which is new partnerships, right? Like, we get so buried in the existing partnerships that we have that we kind of stop looking. You know, you mean like, oh, I got a guy for that already. And I started digging in more into relationships, and I'm reluctantly met with somebody. I was kind of like, I already got a wholesaler for all my group insurance and stuff. I don't want another one. And I met this guy, and it was, brother, this guy owns Compass Health. And I was like, oh, and that's like a huge in the individual world, all your LifeX contracts, all your PSM, all your Iron Health, that is the top echelon. I meet this guy and he lives in my area, man. So now it's like, oh shit. So it's like, and I would have, and it's because I have that constant thing of being like, you know, we all go through it. Like, I already have somebody that does this. I already have a life guy. I already have this. I already have that. No.
We all fight change, don't we? Humans hate change, whether it's positive or negative. And that's part of the idea. Is the growth mindset is one that allows an open door, even when you think it's closed. And so, yeah, bro. I mean, that's badass. I mean, that's how our relationship happened.
Yes,
our relationship happened from keeping an open door. Both of us were just fine. Both of us were all set. Yet over a year's period of time, because I think it was about a year ago that we were in Tampa together for my boot camp.
Yeah, and then I'd originally gotten connected with you December. I want to say it was December 8th, man. Like the day after AEP ended, because I was on the way to go to a Disney cruise, and you had run that Zoom to wrap up.
AEP, crush OEP boot camp.
Zoom. Yeah, it was like a 4.5 hour Zoom.
Yep, for $150, and I probably gave away $50,000 worth of stuff that nobody implemented except for like 2 people, probably.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of the stuff was so resonant to what I was doing. I was like, oh shit, that's what prompted me to want to meet with you in person, though, because I heard all that and I was like, okay, yeah, no, I want to meet with this guy in person, right? Like, I definitely want to meet this guy in person. Yeah, for sure.
Right, you know, and that's the vibe. If you can't tell, the vibe is the vibe. And it got to the point where, like, I was going to go to Medicarians, but God pushed me a different direction, the Iron Apex, and now I'm going to Tampa instead next week. So enjoy all y'all going to Vegas for Medicarians. You enjoy Glad Handing and do all the other stuff that you do there. I've been there, done that.
They're going to tell you that you're going to close 50%, 60% of their hot leads and warm transfers. And so you can test it out for 90 days and see where you're at. If you do it, guys, listen, my little plug here is, again, American Express should be a sponsor. Do it on your Amex, right? So that when it doesn't work out, you can contest the whole thing and get all your money back. I'm not going to say who I did it with, but I bought it like 2 years ago. Someone was like, oh, we're going to build out this campaign and yada, 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 and it's going to be guaranteed this and guaranteed that for recruiting and for lead gen, and specifically in the Medicare space, right? And I did business with this person. And I bought 2 packages, and I did it with a partner of mine that helped build my CRMs, and we both bought it. And it was a total poop show. I mean, terrible landing pages that would never convert. The ads were complete cookie cutter using like Google stock, like photos. And it was just terrible. And this guy's a high level marketer. And he was like, no, Philippe, I was just trying to, make things move faster. This is garbage. Like, I've got Filipinos that are doing better jobs than this. And it was $15,000 we paid for this service, man. We got every cent back. And after they had tried to fix it in iterations, like 3 months later, and I was like, guys, this is totally trash. I don't trust you to give me anything that's any better. We've been on the phone with you multiple times. We send you multiple SOPs. We've run this down with you a ton of times. We've even shown you examples of what we're currently doing, and you can't even match what we're currently doing. Not interested. They wouldn't give us money back. We straight contested it with American Express, got every cent back, man. So guys, if you're going to Medicare and you're going to buy stuff, buy it on your business Amex. So
and that's how you tell, like this new lead company I'm doing the live inbound transfers for, there's only one way to pay them. And that's through a wire transfer, and you can't contest those. They're smart.
Yeah, but it's working well for you, right?
Oh, man, yeah. The first week and a half was rough, but they're ironing out the kinks. Like I said, the last, 6-7 calls have all been slam dunks, man.
I've got a good one, too, but I want to use yours as well.
Yeah.
I got a great one that did really well for us during AEP. I got a guy that wrote 78 warm transfers during AEP, and they've all stuck. So that was really good. And, speaking of what you talked about is your upline, like blocking you. I literally introduced this warm transfer guy to my upline. I think I told you the story. And I introduced it to my upline, and my upline was so adamant about having his getting his beak wet, as they say. And that's the term that he uses. I want to get my beak wet. I'm not going to say any names because I'm going to disparage anybody. And I like this guy, by the way. I like my upline. My upline's a nice guy, but it was people's characteristics, right? He wanted to get his beak wet, and he needs to be in control of the situation, like so many uplines need to do. So he stonewalled me. He literally told this guy, "Hey, I don't like your contract." So he got the director of compliance for Humana involved and shut this guy down for like 2 months so they could go through his whole business, which, by the way, he passed with flying colors and didn't have to change anything. But he stonewalled me and said, "Listen, you can't take any more warm transfers for all of OEP." I said, "Why?" And he goes, "Because we're investigating this guy to see if he's compliant." I said, "You think I would do something with somebody that wasn't uncompliant? You don't think I went through the scripts and I did this and I did that and I went through all this already? Like, what are you talking about?" And he literally stopped me because he said if I sold it, I would lose my license. I would lose my contract with Humana and my license would be in jeopardy. Yeah. So, of course, I had to stop it. And I had a guy that was, we literally have 250 warm transfers still left that we haven't been able to access until about 3 days ago. Technically Friday, so 4 days ago. That's crazy.
This industry never ceases to amaze me with the people at the top gatekeeping bullshit.
Yeah. Crazy, man.
So, yeah, guys, if you haven't heard the rumor, sometime between May and July, Humana is going to open up the doors for transfers. But if you haven't heard, they're only opening it up for about a month. And so if you don't think there's only like 10,000 people that are ready to move shit, make sure you have your paperwork filled out. There's a form you have to fill out.
I got it.
Four pages. If you don't fill that son bitch out and send it to your upline if you want to move, you'll probably get left out to dry and stuck with whatever duck ass upline you have now.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I got 1 or 2 contracts left, and then my old upline can kiss my brown hole on the way out. They can. They can sniff it. They can lick it, whatever they want to do, but they're going to be seeing it from behind.
That's exactly why you're coming to Florida and you're not going to Medicare.
Oh, big time, bro. Big time. I can't wait. No, and I feel so good about things. God has been, it was a painful process. And like I said, we talked about it last week, iron sharpening iron and the process of being forged. And whether that's by yourself or by God or whatever you believe in, man, that process sucks when you have to go through a growth period. And, but on the other side of it, you become bigger, stronger, faster, more agile and more apt to deal with that next time.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, man, I'm so excited about what we're bringing with Iron Apex. We were just getting started with the podcast right now. We're just trying to build up momentum for all of you out there, dropping the heat, dropping the bombs. And so what I would like to do for the next few minutes today is kind of go over, like, how do you construct a Facebook ad? Because this is something that's gatekeeped in the industry. And really reality is the setup is in the ad. And so you have to get really comfortable with yourself on video. Video ads perform exponentially better as far as high intent. So you have volume and you have intent, and then you can try to get a mix of the two. And in my experience, if you want a high intent campaign, it's got to be a video ad. It's got to be you. Don't do this AI bullshit where you have AI create a video. People can sense through that. People can see through that. And so the reality is you want to set up what I've learned is a 5-piece or 6-piece. So you want to start out with 5 or 6 versions of the same ad. And if you can't come up with the creatives, this is where you leverage AI.
Yeah,
and have AI put together the actual, like, just tell it. Say, I want to run an ad campaign on Facebook for blank. And I want 5 versions of it. Give me the headlines. Give me the main text. Give me the script. Be specific. Give me the teleprompter script. What I would do is you should frickin' sponsor us too. SpeakFlow. So if you're using your phone and you don't have a teleprompter, so I spent big money on getting an actual teleprompter for my office.
Which are cumbersome, by the way. They're cumbersome. You got to put them on the lens of the camera. Then you got to get the right tripod because then it weighs your camera down. It's
expensive to do the whole setup. You need about $500 to do it right, and plus $1,000 for the right camera.
And then the lens, dude, the lens is like $1,500.
All of it, like the whole thing. You're talking about a big investment versus, honestly, this is the best camera you have.
Absolutely.
It record in 4K.
Baseboard,
and it will record just what you need. And so what I would invest in is one of these. So I'll turn my camera. See that ring light right there?
Yeah.
It has a mount that you can put your damn phone right on it, and you don't got, there's no extra work for it.
Yeah.
And so just get yourself one of those. They're $40 at Walmart. Put your phone on and go to, like, SpeakFlow is the best one I've found for the cost and what it does. But basically it turns your phone into a teleprompter where it's recording the video while you just read shit, but it doesn't look like you're reading it because it's putting it right where the camera is.
Yep.
But put a script on there, record 5 versions of whatever it is. You got to be yourself. You got to be personable. You got to get used to being on camera and hearing your own voice. So you put five versions of content together for the same thing. You put together 5 different ads and you launch them all at once and start off with a mod. You guys, you don't have to have $100 a day budget. Now you go through the learning phase. So if you didn't know, Facebook has a learning phase for your ad. Until you get 50 leads, you're in the learning phase, because Facebook's algorithm's trying to figure out, who do I show this ad to?
Yeah.
Because Facebook's in the business of making money too. And
Yes.
so they want your leads to work. They don't want you to have a bunch of crappy leads, because then they don't make money because you quit doing it.
Yep.
The whole idea is to keep doing it. And so you keep your ad rolling. Don't mess with it. It's really hard. Trust me. While I was flying to North Carolina to go to Pete's training, I tried to hit duplicate and I hit delete. And so I deleted my whole ad set. I had to start the frick over. I had it all dialed in, so I was able to reduplicate the same efforts. But some people, that would be devastational to your budget, because if you have to start over, you start the learning phase over, you start everything over. And anytime, and that's another thing, don't adjust up or down the budget of your ad more than 15%.
Yeah, never. And sometimes even less, right? Because once you get to certain numbers, Facebook will waste your money. They'll just assume that you want, 16-year-olds. Just assume, right? You're selling Medicare. You've been dealing with these 65-year-olds. We're gonna take half your budget and give it to
16-year-olds
graduating high school. And you're like, whoa, who told you to do that? Well, the algorithm did, because Andromeda does what it wants, right? So it's like, you got to be real careful, because and this is so great that you brought this up, man, because I'll meet people and they say Facebook doesn't work, and I'll say, explain to me why it doesn't work. Well, I spent $5,000 on Facebook and I didn't get anything. I said, how long did it take you to spend the $5,000? Well, I did it in a month. I said, you're crazy. Why would you ever do that? Did you A/B split test the ads? And they're like, what does that mean? And I'm like, well, that's why you lost all your money. You gave Facebook $5,000 for something that you never tested. And they said, okay, we're going to test it with your $5,000. And they tested the market. And then you said, well, I didn't get anything. Rule of thumb in marketing, guys, is I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars going to marketing events and marketing masterminds, is 90 days. The rule of 90. You have to give anything 90 days, and you A/B split. You have 2 ads that are pretty much exactly the same. They just have different font, different colors, different messaging, but it's the same video. But maybe the captions are different. Maybe the colors are different. Maybe so I use a lot of neons.
The shirt color you wear. There's weird stuff that makes a difference for sure.
A blue neon versus a purple neon versus a light green neon, right? Like, all of that makes a difference when you're talking to people. And the length of the ad, 60 seconds versus 30 seconds versus 90 seconds. I'm against 90-second ads. I like 30-second ads. I think it's a little bit better. It's hard pitched, But no, dude, it's absolutely. There's so much to it. And really to speak on you, Josh, you're an outlier. I'm an outlier, right? Meaning that not everybody is going to be good at doing ads, right? But you don't even need to be good at doing ads, guys. You don't need to be good at it. What you need to be good at is how to post it, when to post it, and what subject matter to actually do. You don't have to be a performer or really good at public speaking. Like, none of that really, the stuff you think matters doesn't matter. But if you're the type of person, the average broker, that's not going to get in the weeds on how to actually teach yourself all of these aspects of marketing, you're going to get stuck, because you're going to say, okay, I'll hire somebody to do it for me, right? And then when you hire an ad manager, they're asking, hey, you got to give me $1,500 a month, right? For 3 months up front. So you got to give them $4,500, and you got to pay for ad spend. And they might require you to spend $30 a day per ad set. So then you got 2 ads going, $60 a day. You're all of a sudden out of pocket, 20 hours. Let's say you do 20 days a month. Look how much money you're out of pocket, like $6,000 before you even know it. And most average brokers are like, I can't do that. I can't afford that. No matter how much the CPL is. The CPL is $2, $3, $4, whatever, right? Especially if you're doing DSNP. DSNP, you can get them all the way down to like $1.90, right? Even on a still ad, you can do that on DSNP, because they're flipping through stuff. It becomes such this unsurmountable thing that you're like, what the hell do I do? So I think a lot of the golden nuggets that we're going to bring to you guys in detail, and a lot of we touch on the podcast and we expand later on, is one, how to teach yourself the right stuff. So maybe if you don't want to do it yourself and you do want to hire somebody, at least you know the metrics and the KPIs that you should be hitting to know whether or not this ad manager is actually working for you and not taking advantage of you. Because 90% of them are going to rip you off and say it was your fault.
Yeah, they have no idea what they're doing.
You don't know what you're asking for. If you don't know CPA and CPLs and TAMs and all that stuff, total addressable market, if you don't know those things and they haven't dialed down your avatar or your IDC, your ideal client, like, you're in trouble, guys. So you do need to know the basics of the marketing. We're not trying to turn you into marketers. We're not trying to turn you into Facebook ad managers, but you need to know at least 60% of what's going on so you can hire somebody that can automate or dictate the 40% that you don't need to do, which is the hard work, right? Because that's like where Josh does all his homegrown and in-house. I have an ad manager, right? So yeah. I produce the ads. I come up with the concepts. I come up with all the ideation. I record all of them. I do all of that. But then I hand that off to a team that says, okay, I'm going to post this at 9:37.5, right? Because that shit matters. And I'm going to post it to this kind of group and that kind of group. And then I'm going to filter it through. And then I'm going to tag it back here, because it all soaks into what you're talking about on social media as well. So I'm big on the back end, where if people say, I want you to have credibility for this guy, let me look at his followers and let me see how many hits he's getting on his videos that aren't ads. They're going to see a high amount of engagement. So they know that I do this on a regular basis on all social platforms. So I think, like, with Facebook, Josh, and you're bringing up a great point, there's a lot of things you need to focus on, but they're little things. But if you can make it systematic, guys, if you get like a checklist, right? Like what Josh is saying, you got to have more than one ad. You do 5 of them. Maybe change your shirt. Wear a blue shirt, wear a green shirt, wear a white shirt, wear an American flag shirt, whatever. And you do the different versions, but it's not complicated. It really isn't. There's a learning curve, of course, but it's not complicated. If you follow the steps that we're going to give you, it's going to make it way less cumbersome, because like he said, you don't need a lot of equipment, and you don't need to hire a $20,000 a year videographer to shoot these things on a freaking blackjack 4K lens that you're going to put in an IMAX theater. You don't need all that. Now, they want to make you believe you need all that. You don't need all that, okay? You can do it from a cell phone with a teleprompter app. I've got a bunch of mics, but you've got the mic on right now. You've got a DJI. And guys, if you don't want to spend $500 on the DJI, you can get a Neewer for like $70. It's going to do the same job, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can get something cheaper. You can get a little lapel mic, have a light. That's it. You need a mic. You need a light. Do not do it off the audio of the phone. Don't do that. Get a mic, get a light, whether it's a ring light or a panel light. And there's all kinds of tricks and tips that we'll go over later about lighting and mics and all that stuff. And we'll have like a list of things that you guys can buy.
Facts. Yeah. Facts, y'all. That's facts. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put as a background for our podcast for the rest of this. Let me save this thing real quick. But I'm going to put a background of what I want to show, an example, because I'm not just going to share my screen and show you the whole. I'm not going to show you behind the curtain, so to speak. But I'll give you a glimpse from behind the curtain. In that, I tested out 6 ads for my webinars up front, and the reality is,
that's right. We were going through them the other day, and we saw which ones were hitting and which ones weren't.
3 of them performed, and really there's one of them that's performing. Like, if I really analyze
it, dude, you had like 80. Last time I looked, I had like 85 RSVPs from that one ad. It was like,
well, now I'm at 211 for that one ad. So it's in the background now. You probably can't see jack squat because I have
that's really zoomed in.
Hold on, let me try. Is there any way? Yeah,
there you go. I think it's kind of zoomed. You got to scroll.
No, I like that, because then it gives them, like, they can't really see under the skirt, but they can see that there is a skirt.
They can see that.
Okay, but I'll give you the numbers. So webinar ad 2, 48 leads, $5.15 per. Okay, webinar ad 5, 211 leads, $4.62 a piece. Webinar ad 6, 57 leads, $5.34 a piece. Webinar 3, 8 leads, $5.54 a piece. So the cost per lead is about the same across the board. Then I had one ad that got me 1 lead for $7.55. I felt like that sucked. Although that some people would kill for that number anyway.
Yeah, but if that lead closed, if you had one of one and that lead closed,
I know.
$7.14, you run the shit out of that ad. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Conversion matters, guys, right? Know your KPIs.
So overall, in the last, it's not even 30 days. This is looking back 30 days, but it's really just 2 weeks. In the last 2 weeks, I've spent $1,584 to get 326 T65s into my pipeline. Now, I think, just run the rough math, Philippe. How many of those do I have to close to get break even?
Fuck, Link. You did how many leads did you run?
Again, they're all T65, 326. I spent $1,584. How many do I have to close to get my money back?
2, 3?
Like 2 if you cross sell, 3 if you don't. And at 3, I'm profitable again. It's not even breaking even.
Take your override out of it and take all of that stuff out of you. Just made street level commission.
Street level commission.
Yeah, 3 or 1,800, right?
6. We'll call it. I round down because of taxes. Call it 600 per sale.
Unless you sell Humana and you're prorated on everything, right? So, and maybe you got to do 4. You know what I'm saying? But worst case, 4 sales.
4 out of 330.
That's a 1% closing ratio.
If you can't do that, just pack it up and go get a job at Home Depot or whatever. Go work at 7-Eleven. You know what I mean? And so, like, the reality is, you guys, if you just plug into 1/3 of what Philippe and I are going to start dropping over the next 6 months, as we're going to get deeper and deeper into this stuff as we go. We're going to do workshops. We're going to do Zooms. We're going to do webinars. We're going to do all kinds of stuff.
A lot of this stuff is going to live on a school that we have, guys, that you're going to have access to. It's going to be invite only, member only, but we'll have a school where we actually have videos and courses that will live forever, that you have access to all the time, that you can rip and drip all that you want. Right now, it's going to be like obviously invite only and whatnot, because we can only do so many people in a school at a time, because I run a business, he runs a business, and we run a business together, and we've got families and we've got, a lot of other responsibilities. But we want to bring something really practical to everybody that you can use. We want to build you an ethos, and not just a general one. We want to build one that's cultivated to you and your style of selling, because between Josh and I, we cover a lot of the spectrum of how we're earning business from the vertical of health insurance, because it's a wide vertical, guys. Some of us, this old, the riches are in the niches. That's all bullshit, right? Our niche is health insurance, but it's very lateral. We're a wide vertical. And we're also very deep in this business. So a mile wide and a mile deep, not an inch wide and a mile deep in this business.
You got to think of it. I go back to coaching 3rd grade girls basketball. Like, first you got to learn to dribble. So again, if you don't even know how to do a video, just start with pumping out content. If you go back and look at my Facebook page over the last 7-8 years, you'll see a bunch of terrible ass videos. And then over time, you're seeing me get better and better at the content I'm putting together, better and better at the messaging, better and better at being on camera, better and better at all this different stuff. It didn't happen in the beginning. It happened because I made a commitment to myself that I was going to put out content, whether it had 1 like or 50 likes, whether it went viral or not. And here's what I'll tell you. Reality is, viral, if you want to go viral, you got to be controversial. You got to be willing to break code. You got to be willing to break the law. You got to be willing to break morals. You got to be willing to do all the stuff that I'm just not willing to do at some point. And so if you want to build something over time, it's going to take an effort on yourself to learn the fundamentals, learn how to do a video, then learn piece by piece. And so Philippe said, right now I'm deep in the weeds of doing my own ads. Why? Because I've been taken advantage of by 50 different companies that do freaking, done for you this and done for you that and blah, 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 blah. But every upline I've had, I've spent tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars paying them to do shit for me that they were getting an override on at the back end. So like, they're charging me on the front side, they're charging me on the back side, they're charging me on the underside, every side. And what I've learned is all I got to do is educate myself so that I can't get taken advantage of. It's kind of like a car mechanic. I've worked on my own cars all the way up until a point where it didn't make sense financially to do it anymore, where I made more money outside of working on my car so I could pay someone else to do it. But what I can not get taken advantage of now is by a car mechanic, because if they tell me I need a blah, 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 and I've probably done that now. And so I know, is it worth them doing it versus, like right now, my BMW needs the brake fluid changed. and it's going to cost me like $700. And then I could go, well, brake fluid costs $12 if I go buy it, but then you've got to know how to drain it. You've got to know how to refill it. You've got to know how to bleed the brake system correctly. Because if you didn't know this, like outside of tires, brakes are the most important thing there is 100%. To keeping you alive.
Especially if you have kids, man.
Right. Going is one thing, stopping is another, and stopping is way more important. Right. And so I've learned that, yeah, could I save a few $100s by doing it myself? Yes. But is it something I want to do? No. And so it's the same thing here. I'm learning how to do ads so that in the future, one, now I can quickly pump out to anybody on my team rather than saying, hey, plug into this other company, which is going to cost more money because anytime you add a middleman, they want to get paid.
Yep.
And so if you can in-source everything, everything else becomes easy. But man, we're already out of time.
I've got
today.
A great ad manager, by the way, which you're going to get to know.
No, I know.
You're going to get to know my ad manager. You're like, this is the greatest thing ever, right?
We're going to plug in, and we're going to plug everybody else.
But before we go, I want to give a great point here, right? Yeah. I have been posting on Instagram since 2020, right? And I'm looking at my account right now, and I've posted in total for videos 1,246 videos. And I didn't go viral until November of 2025. So November of last year. So we're talking about 5 months ago, right? I went viral, and I went from like 1,000 followers to 30,000 followers. And I went from having like 10, 20 views on my media to now the average views on all of my videos is right around 22,000 on every video that I post now. It is extremely blown up. And Instagram just happens to be my choice that I do organic traffic on. Organic, guys, stuff that I don't pay for. I pay for stuff on Facebook because that's where seniors are. I do not pay for stuff on Instagram because what I'm grabbing on Instagram is young, healthy, wealthy entrepreneurs that are looking to break from Obamacare and get products through me, because that's another specialty that I do. But I use that because it's free. And all I got to do is make a video that I'm going to repurpose for an ad anyways, and I'm going to post it. And the thing about Instagram, if you know how to use it, you can test Reels on Instagram for free. And Insta and Meta will let you know whether or not this is a winning formula, and then you can turn it into an ad later on. It is literally all of these things that you can learn about Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok that will move your business unbelievable amounts. But if you're not doing it consistently and frequently, you're never going to hit it. You're not going to just take a class and say, oh, yeah, if I angle the camera this way and I talk about this, I'm going to go viral. No, you need to do it over and over and over and over and over again. And then all of a sudden, and the video I went viral for, it was so random. It was an interview. It was a random interview that I did with a client. I'm looking at it right here with Tony. Tony Gambino gave me a testimonial. I recorded it because I was doing it for a brand page and for like testimonials on the website. And the next thing I know, I got 247 likes. I got 40 reshares. I got 14 comments, and it was 13.9 thousand views. Before that, I hadn't had more than like 1,000 views on a video. And that blew up. So I took that and I said, oh, now I know what people really want to see. Let me replicate, and start to tease other ideas. And then it just blew up. And of course, I hired a social media content manager after that happened to be like, hey, I don't know exactly what I did, but can I keep doing it? And I need more advice because I saw where it went. So then I invested into it. And I took that fire and I poured gasoline on it. That's what you do with social media. Yep. Of course, AI helps you do all that stuff.
All right, bro. I got to run. I got a golf tournament I got to be to in 15 minutes.
You look like you're about to go to a golf
tournament. I'm going to play golf right now. So we'll see you guys next week. That's a perfect segue. We're going to drop the heat next week. We'll see you next week.
All right. See you guys.